hook, line, and sinker. Having given you time to revisit the first edition of bull excrement that Lucy has passed of as gospel, and having indicated social media as a tool for diversion and distraction by the associated parties, I will run through what I picked up from her opening gambit. Firstly, she begins by telling us that she, Jay, and someone she is trying to shield went to a holiday location for the purpose of a holiday. This may seem trivial, but on closer inspection, 99% of people go to holiday locations for a holiday or work. The remaining 1% are there for no good reason. But Lucy knows this, and subliminally, she is eliminating any other idea that a normal holiday was planned. Why is this important? It is important because she needs us to believe her, now and throughout. So she is doing the groundwork, setting the scene, even before telling us anything important to help finding her missing friend. She needs us to believe in her, but is trying to do enough to stop anyone actually finding Jay. In psychology, this would fall under the Karpman drama triangle, a dynamic often adopted by the damsel in distress. A manipulative tool to garner what she needs, but without needing help. The fact that she is waving big red flags even before telling us what happened to Jay is a huge concern. The next concern is in the pattern she uses. She presented a rather patchy account. They got there, making sure we knew it was a holiday, but then she jumps to the last day, skipping anything that may have led up to a problem, any meetings with the B&B men, who at this point she is denying all knowledge of, despite all being out looking for Jay one night. She can tell us what time Jay left the B&B and what time he called her, but can't recall what time she left the club. Obviously, she was focused on distancing herself from the lads and what happened, rather than making her account sound credible. But she left earlier, ... And if you believe that she left earlier, you may also believe the following: that he rang her at 8:30 a.m. when his phone 1%. During this call, he told her his phone was on 1%. He needed a drink. He met two guys and went back to their place in the mountains. That he was in the mountains and knew that, but didn't know his surroundings. The place was in the middle of nowhere, miles away from civilization. Oh, and if that wasn't bad enough, it was in a very secluded location. Oh, and he had left at 8 a.m. and had been walking for half an hour. I presume that this was just Jay ranting at her frantically until his phone died, as 1% really doesn't last long at all. But we will later hear more from Lucy, where she tells us that it was a conversation. She tried to get answers from him. He sent a location, also added he was assaulted by an angry, but we will get to that eventually. For now, let us believe her nonsense and go along with it. She got off the phone with a frantic Jay, and at some point during the next 3 days, in her worried state when she wasn't out faking CTV videos, she went out to look for Jay, not sure if it was the same night that Ayob and his mates were taking pics on the white stones, but let's assume it was. And she got a lift from them strangers who Jay went off with. It would make about as much sense as the rest of her story. She doesn't mention it in her story, but by the time she went public with news of Jay, she had already set up the GoFundMe. What was the plan for the money? We will have a look at the GoFundMe in due time, but for now I'll let you leave some honest opinions in the comments on what you think the GoFundMe was going to fund. Did they genuinely think they were going to fund a search? Or are these childish stories part of a childish scam to try and grift some money? Or was it to pay for something else? A bill or debt? I'll let you all do some thinking. I have two final possibilities, and neither are simple or easy to swallow, but we will get there in due time. For now, it's a moment to reflect on the fact that, for a story with so many details, Lucy managed to leave out any names of anybody they were with, and any useful information that would have helped the cause she set up. If she wasn't helping the search, she certainly did her best to hinder it, and she has let slip that she knows too much to carry on playing dumb. These kids think they are clever, but they are forgetting that they had been off their nuts all weekend, and that youngsters don't make the best of decisions. Or that's what they want you to think of Jay anyway. I'll be honest. By the time it became public, and I heard what we have covered so far, I thought someone had dragged in a pound of rotten sushi, because the whole thing stunk to high heaven. 3 days was plenty of time to set the fake CCTV videos up. If they went out at night searching, they would need torches, just like the ones in the Santiago CTV by the church, which was taken at night. But we will get to that soon, as someone deserves a BAFTA for worst acting limp ever caught on camera. But as I said, we will cover that soon, along with a lesson in feigning a leg injury for the screen. Laughing out loud. Like, subscribe, and catch you soon.